Bradford Bulls were missed at the Summer Bash in Blackpool at the weekend. While a few hundred rattled around Bloomfield Road on Sunday afternoon at a supposed celebration of the championship, 500 Bulls fans headed 200 miles down the M1 to Hemel Hempstead. Pennine Way, home of Hemel Stags, I was, as treiziste friends would say, en fête in the sunshine. Predictably, the Bulls' superior speed and strength helped them romp home 68-0, much to the delight of their loyal supporters, who seemed to be enjoying their tour of the game's nether regions. Hemel coped admirably well with their well-mannered invasion and, although the expected four-figure gate failed to materialize, the Bulls set another attendance record. A dozen years ago, Bradford were world champions and Hemel were playing Bradford Dudley Hill, St Albans Centurions and Essex Eels in National League 3. In the Surrey League fixtures stakes, this was our equivalent of Burton Albion v Aston Villa, or the iconic meeting of Macclesfield Town and Manchester City 2 decades ago. Hemel v Bradford should not be on the schedule and it won't be again, but what is the future of League One's weakest teams? Contrary to reports, the Super League club's powering leadership change insist they have no intention of cutting the lower divisions adrift or cutting funding. Instead, they say they want the game to benefit from the £1 million of Sky money that goes to League One in central funding. The Super League giants say they would even consider giving more money to those who deserve it, those vibrant League One clubs who are marketing their product, promoting the sport in their communities and producing young talent. The admirable York City Knights, Newcastle Thunder and London Skolars are flagship clubs in the third tier for differing reasons. Others would struggle to justify their purpose. As with the EFL, where Wigan Supremo Ian Lanigan is the chairman, professional rugby league clubs should have their central funding ring-fenced for certain provisions, community development, education, coaching and so on. I spent last week on a project in Sweden visiting fourth-tier football clubs whose gates rarely hit 200. Some teams train full-time, some part-time, some players are paid, some are amateurs, some clubs represent villages, others are feeder clubs to major top-flight clubs. But each has a reason for being what they are and doing what they do. Each League One club should have a purpose. Hemel Stags, who have been providing rugby league to West Hertfordshire for 37 years, are under the microscope not for their struggles on the pitch but because their semi-pro first team is based in Sheffield. Club founder and chairman Bob Brown is behind that move as he believes there are not enough local players capable of competing in League One. The evidence suggests that is not working, but it may eventually. Meanwhile, Hemel can justify their central funding by a community program that has produced Super League players Dan Sarginson, Kieran Dixon and Jamie Acton. They are London's only rugby league club with junior teams at all three age group as well as 2 open-age teams beneath the pros. They have a purpose and are doing the game a service. So the eye-watering landslide defeats suffered by West Wales Raiders, Hemel and Coventry Bears this season can be forgiven if the clubs are doing something for the game. The beleaguered Raiders are trying to keep a battered league flag flying in South Wales and are now getting a hand from Wigan Warriors, while Coventry are developing a fan base in the West Midlands. And they can all look to Newcastle Thunder for inspiration. When they were at Gateshead they were regularly thrashed in front of minuscule crowds, going about 3 years without a win. Now they are thriving across the Tyne. Much can be done with a little patience. Club call, Lee Centurions. Unsurprisingly, Lee's thriller with Toronto and Blackpool had a feisty ending. And half the players have played for both teams in recent years and Lee were so close to a major scalp, there was bound to be a bit of spice. It was less likely that Wolfpack coach Paul Raleigh and Lee assistant coach Paul Anderson would be the pair going tête-à-tête, though. I was with 3 Sheffield Eagles players on Tuesday who all expect Toronto to finish top and go up, but believe Lee will make the qualifiers and put the Super League strugglers under real pressure in the playoffs. Before that, Lee will fancy taking advantage of lackluster leads in their Challenge Cup quarterfinal at Featherstone on Friday night. Foreign quota is unlikely as it seems. 2 of my favorite cities staged rugby league tournaments last weekend. On Saturday in Vancouver, 5 men's and 2 women's teams contested the British Columbia RL9s at South Surrey, won by Vancouver Dragons. And on Sunday in Kowloon, the 4th annual Hong Kong Nines featured Made MAA Tonga residents, holders Diamond Chiefs from Papua New Guinea and 7 local sides. There was even a North v South women's match. Not surprisingly, Tonga residents won, but only beat Hong Kong Pacific Toe at 12-6 in a gripping final that was streamed live. 22,000 have already watched it. I recommend you join them. Goal line dropout media coverage for Magic compared to a regular round of Super League games guarantees its future, and the FA Cup final weekend seems the best option, depending on whose wedding is on. However, crowds were down in Newcastle, suggesting it is time to move on, at least for next year. Fans do not want to go to the same place year after year. Ideally, Super League and the RFL would unite to create a schedule in which at least one major event goes to London, Manchester, Newcastle, Cardiff or the Midlands every year. They should all be part of the 2021 Rugby League World Cup, but in the meantime it would be good to see Magic and the Bash with Bradford back in it, on the move. My solution? Have 2 Magics, 3 on the road games in one city one weekend, and 3 in another the next. 5th and last, congratulations to our League One for getting the teaser in the last blog correct. All the Super League players listed have family members who represented different countries than they did. The brothers of both Kevin Sinfield, Ian, and Sean Lunt, Rob, played for Scotland. Adrian Morley's brother Chris played for Wales. France prop Jason Badieri's uncle, Rick, played 3 times for Italy. Scotland winger Louise Tierney is son of England. Superstar Jason Robinson, and Lee Gilmore played for Scotland, his sister Natalie for England. Here is another. Hull FC stalwart Kirk Yeaman came out of retirement to play for the injury-wrecked Early Birds against Hull KR at Magic. What notable moment did he share with his opponent in Newcastle? Nick Scruton, and 4 other still active players, Richard Whiting, Toronto, Ben Westwood, Warrington, Andy Lynch, Castleford, and table topper John Wilkin of St. Helens. Listen here for No Helmets winning accolades on Wilkins' podcast Whippets and Flat Caps last week. Follow No Helmets Required on Twitter and Facebook.